Hi everyone, this is Mahina from ImaginAdventures. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about the importance of being yourself. Yes, be yourself. Why is that important? Well, your uniqueness is your most important asset in everything that you do in life. We are all born different, and we're born different for a reason, right? We don't want to be exactly the same as anybody else because this is what sets us apart. We know that we're all human beings, so we're all similar, of course. We're all the same human species in a way. So we belong together, we belong in a group, and we belong on the planet because we're human beings. We live in collaboration with other species, and ideally we live in harmony with nature and with each other. However, in today's society, we tend to promote that idealization that we should all be the same. And it's different. It's like in some ways, a lot of people are taking the fact that they're different and putting it out there. So we see a lot of new videos, especially on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, of people talking about why they're different and what makes them different, and this is great because this is something that they need to share, that they feel compelled to do. But I also want to say that you don't need to dress in a certain way or have a different sexuality necessarily to realize that you are different, and that being different, being the unique you that you are, is enough. It is fine. And you can be very similar to other people or belong to a group that you really enjoy hanging out with and still be different. I mean, you will always be different. Even twins or brothers and sisters who grow up in the same family will end up being different. Now, the good thing about being unique is that, when you own that uniqueness, you actually take your power back. You actually understand. You get to a point when you really understand that this is what you were born to do. Society will try and tell you that you were born to have a specific job and earn a lot of money and even have a family and have a legacy and this is all great, but usually in society we talk in terms of assets or physical goods or even children. Having a family is wonderful, but your legacy doesn't have to always and only be confined to things that surround you. Your legacy is also your energy, the energy footprint that you leave behind you. So everywhere you go, when you are being yourself, you don't realize it, but you leave something behind. And the more you can be like the real authentic you, the more the people who are supposed to be in your life will be attracted to you in a way. And the more people who are not supposed to be in your life will be driven away. We tend to want to be liked by everyone at all times, but this is not the right way to think in a way, because we don't want to be liked by everybody. We want to be liked by the people that connect with us, that are aligned with our values and with us. So, also when you're aligned with who you are, you just attract better and do better. But it's also important to notice or to realize or to understand that being unique doesn't mean being perfect. You should definitely accept yourself as the unique being that you are, which means as the imperfect being that you are. So let's say, for example, that you're a very kind and caring and compassionate person, but you also have boundaries and you have limits. And sometimes when somebody crosses that boundary, you get upset. and then you feel terrible because you got upset with that person, when in fact you're actually a very caring person. Now this shouldn't be something that you regret in a way that it's not terrible. You're not a bad person. You're just not a perfect person. Nobody wants to be perfect, because it is when you are. It is in the face of adversity and in the way that you react to things that, first of all, you're able to define who you are, but you also find that person that you are. We don't always know exactly who we are. I mean, life is an ever-expensive journey, right? So we are always evolving, always growing, always learning. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from our interactions with the world and with other people. And this is a very important part of life. I sincerely believe that the goal of life is to expand, to keep experiencing as many different things, and to be in different situations and to meet different people. And this is what will enable you to really, in the end, exploring the outside world will lead you to an exploration or a discovery or a rediscovery of your inside or inner world. And so, you're not perfect, because the purpose is not to become perfect, but the purpose is to always strive to become a better person. So everything that you learn has a purpose. There's a reason behind every experience that you go through. But first of all, in order to understand that, you first need to be able to find the true you. Who are you? And a lot of people ask themselves that question: who am I? Am I the job that I do? Am I the person that I'm with when I am with my partner? Am I the person that I'm with when I'm with my family? Am I the kid that grew up and turned out to be this way or that way? But this is not the entirety of who you are. So I believe that we are, first of all, multidimensional beings. So you have many, many different layers to your being. So first of all, you have the human that you are, and to find the true you, to find that true human being that you are, as in the identity that you want to create for yourself, or that you have created for yourself in our today's societies. You can figure that out. All you have to do is, so you quiet your mind and you begin by accepting everything that you are. You don't have to define what it is, but simply accept all of that you are. So in a broad sense, if you have images of good or bad memories that come into your mind, just accept them all, and just say, I accept all that I am. I am okay with all that I am. Whoever I am is perfectly fine. I am always evolving. I am always expanding. Okay, so just spend about 5 to 10 minutes accepting who you are without defining who that person really is. You just accept basically life as it is, experiences that happen to you, and where you are now. And then something that's very interesting to do, just take a piece of paper or a journal, and then you can look online. There are a lot of examples or list of values. Values are in society very important because they are what drives our behavior and what guides us in a way, and they can be used as a compass, really. So what you can do is to look online at the list of human values, for example, and you have to pick 10 values that will be your personal values, or are your personal values, that never change. So basically, for example, if you take a value like compassion or compassionate, and then you take another value like trust or honesty, and let's take another one, passion or motivation. Okay, that means that everything that you do, everything that you shoot, whenever you have to make a big decision, be it in your career or in your personal life, in your professional life, or even with family, if your value is honesty, anybody who doesn't tell you the truth, who is not honest with you and who lies to you, should be out of the picture. If your value is compassionate, and let's say somebody in your outer circle of friends is being mean to someone who has a disability or is being mean to animals, then you know that person is not supposed to be in your life. Same thing if you're offered a job, but let's say that job is extremely boring, and one of your values is passion, because you want to be passionate about what you're doing, you need to have the courage and the strength to say, well, this is not for me, because it goes against your values. And you'll find that the more aligned you are with your personal values, your core values, your 10 core values, the happier you are anyway. And this comes down to being aligned with the true you, the true being that you are. So this is very important, all of that. Now, once you've chosen your values, so you've got your piece of paper, it's also very interesting to ask very close friends or family members a list of your qualities and weaknesses. I wouldn't say faults, but weaknesses, and just, keep them in mind, keep them somewhere. You don't have to get hung up on them, but let's say what you will realize, basically, that you often have the faults that are in equal proportions to the quality that you have. So let's say you are determined, which means you're a person who is very driven. You're very determined, like I am, and when you want something, you're just going to do whatever it takes to get it. It also means that on the opposite, you are also you may also be very stubborn. Because once you've decided something, well, you want to just do it and stick with it until you've got it or until you do it. So I've been called determined, and of course I can be very stubborn as well. So it's just very interesting if you ask a couple of friends or family members to list 3 of your best qualities and 3 of your weaknesses, and then just have a look, because basically you'll find a lot of the time there are 2 sides of the same coin. So this is not to judge you in any way, it's just to make us or you realize what it is that you appear to be to some people and why. But this is all a personal work that a lot of people don't do, or don't have time to do, or don't think about doing, although I personally believe that a lot more people are keen to do that work, because we are realizing that knowing ourselves, knowing who we are, but also being in that 3D world, 3D reality in the most authentic possible way is what is actually going to make us the happiest. There are a lot of, I think social media is very interesting, because there are a lot of lies and a lot of people who are faking, happiness. They post pictures of themselves being very happy, or even videos where they have a lot of fun. I even saw a terrible video of a mother who posted, videos of herself and her daughter on TikTok, and she ended up, unfortunately, killing her daughter. So she was an abuser. So, social media is a facade, and it's something that we need to realize it's just not the reality, as a general rule, I believe. However, there are a few people out there, and I think the more people do this, the more we can use social media for good, there are a few people out there who are trying to be as authentic as possible. I saw a video of a French mom who was living her daily life, and she has no arm. She was born with no arm, and but she decided to post videos of herself doing daily tasks. And it's just very beautiful because she's got a baby daughter, and it's incredible what she can do with her feet. And when you're born with no arm, then you just use your legs as your arms. So for her, it's just absolutely normal. And but she found herself, social media gave her the courage to be more out there, and she actually really enjoys it. And what I love about it is that she is being 100% herself. No filters, no hiding or whatever. And this is how we can use social media, or any kind of media really, to be ourselves. So I'm not here to talk about social media, but basically it's in all of our interaction. We know that we have different ways that we interact with different kinds of people. That's absolutely normal, and it shows that we are very tactful. So for example, you're not going to be talking to your parents the same way that you will be talking to your neighbors, or to your acquaintances, or to your boss, or to your partner. But it doesn't mean that you can't have a set of values that you always stick to. It's almost like a code of conduct for yourself, but not in a way that it prevents you from being happy. It doesn't limit you. Quite the contrary. It just ensures that whatever you are surrounded with, or you surround yourself with, be it people, situations, or things, they are what makes you the happiest. So this is a very important thing to do, and I really encourage everybody to be fully themselves. So of course, being ourselves doesn't mean that because we are, let's say, we are impatient and we're aware that we're impatient, it doesn't mean that we should let ourselves being carried away when we are impatient, let's say in a public place, just because we are impatient and this is how we are. Okay, it's always about balance. Of course you can be impatient by nature, and this is who you are, but what I mean by being authentic is you accept all your flaws in a way, although I don't call them flaws, I call them the other side of the coin, but you can accept your good and your bad side, and then you take your values and you keep that list of values close by, and you try to live by it. There's also another aspect of being yourself that some people will really resonate with. I believe everybody can resonate with it, just you need to make time for that. So if you can, every day, just spend minimum, I would say, I can do that for 10 minutes to 4 hours per day, it depends. But I would recommend start with 5 to 10 minutes and just lie down on your bed and just it's not about meditating or clearing your mind. It's simply about being with you. Just spend time with yourself. Because when we're reading a book or watching a movie or spending time with people or scrolling down our screens on our phone, we are always doing something. And I keep saying that, but we need to remember we are not human doing. We are human being. And there's a very, very important reason for this. When you learn how to be, people will say, oh, well, you're lazy, you're doing nothing. But being is not doing nothing. Being is not being lazy. Being is being. It's an actual word, an actual, I would say, action. It's an actual thing. It is something that we are born to do as well, to be. We're human beings. And when you learn to quiet your mind and your space and just stay with yourself, just you, the more you do that, the more you will find that so many things are going to come up. First of all, it will be a little bit disturbing. Maybe you'll feel a bit uncomfortable because you're alone with yourself. And if you haven't done that before, then you'll feel maybe very uncomfortable. But stick to it and do this for at least 3 weeks. Every day, just set aside 5 to 10 minutes per day. And seriously, everybody can do it. It's all about prioritizing, and we need to put ourselves first in a lot of the time. And just lie down in your bed, put some nice music on if you want. Not something that you're going to sing along with, but just nice relaxing music. And just be with yourself. And after a while, just spend time accepting yourself, just being happy with yourself. Know that you're not perfect, but understand that you're here for a very special reason, that just being you is enough. Just being you is okay. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to earn more money. You don't need to have another kind of life. You will be able to change your life if that is what you want, but you don't. These are all desires. These are all desires that are here for a purpose, to help you expand. Of course, we want different things, and that is great. That is part of life, and that is what keeps us moving forward and always expanding. However, the you, the core you, the inner being, the energy of that you that is inside your body is, a lot of people call it love, a lot of people call it energy. It is something that doesn't ever change. Even when I talk about values, it is almost like another layer that is outside the real you. When you get to silence your mind and just stay with yourself more and more, and as you do that, you're going to start really getting a glimpse of the brilliant being that you really are. And this is really important, and this is really beautiful. And when you get there, you're going to start seeing life from a different perspective. Because no matter what happens outside of you, it doesn't mean you don't want to change anything. You don't want to become a better person. Of course you do. You always want, and you will want to be even more aligned with who you are in everything you're doing, because you will have glimpsed or gotten a glimpse, or even properly embraced that beautiful being that you are. And just being you as you are is enough. Okay, so you're not defined by your past, and you can choose your future. And at any given moment, that beautiful, pure energy of that you is always there. You just need to find it and remember that it's there. And society does everything it can to make us forget that. So I'm here to remind you that it is there. It is never going away. And the more you spend time with it, and the more you see it, and the more you enjoy yourself, and you're being with yourself, the happier you're going to be. This is the key to a happy life. So well, thank you so much for listening. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I wish you all a fantastic weekend, and stay tuned for next week's podcast. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Love you all. Countless blessings your way.